Hello there, crafty doer. Jessica Michaels here with the Bramble Fox cut file team, sharing this adorable cut file for all my fellow book lovers. So grab a comfy chair, grab all your crafty things, and let's get into the crafty doings. Welcome to my channel. If you are new, welcome back. If you have been here before, you would know that I scrapbook 8x8 and I run into this challenge quite often where I have these gorgeous 12 by 12 designs, but I have to cringe at trimming them down to 8 by 8, and that is what I'm doing here with this lovely paper. And I'm also going to go ahead and slice these strips of paper and then roll the edges up, reaching out for a pen and a paintbrush to curl it as thinly as possible. For the base of my layout, I went ahead and grabbed some orange designed papers, and going through them, I landed on this polka dot one that, you guessed it, I also have to trim down to an 8 by 8. And I love the idea of this design, the circular design, and I want to try to keep it, but we'll see what ends up happening through my creative process. And so I wanted to try and use the entire circular design, and to keep that, I'm going to do my best to trim the pattern paper into a circle. And once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing I did to the bottom portion, which is slice those different pattern papers. I reached for this pinstripe pattern paper for the sentiment of my layout, and I'm thinking after placing it on top of the pattern paper that it might not work out. And I tried cutting this cut file a few times and it turns out my blade was dull. So make sure your blades are sharp to get through these, especially these 49 and Market paper. They are top notch quality. So I decided not to trash them completely, and I'm going to go ahead and use what I can from these die cut rejects to fill in my cut file pages on this book. I do really like how the white outline pops off of all this busy pattern paper, and I'm thinking I might end up doing that for my sentiment. We'll see. I dive into my stash to try and use up as many paper scraps as I can to fill in the pages of this book. Am I crazy or am I a genius? I'm literally taking the time to cut out tiny pieces of scrap paper because remember, I scrapbook 8 by 8, and so my die cuts are a little bit smaller than you would normally use, like on a 12 by 12. This is very time consuming, but I feel at this point like I am committed and I'm really loving the results. So I'm just going to push through, but let me know, what would you do? Okay, so let me clear my desk here for a second. And I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this circle in half because I have to consider the cut file. When I place it on top of the busy pattern paper, it blends in too much. When I put it on top of the solid, not so solid, as Vicki Boutin says, the cut file stands out a bit more. So I'm going to insert all of the scrap pieces of papers to see if I am ready to permanently adhere this. I definitely like what I am seeing. It's time to play a little bit with a photo placement and sentiment placement, and I'm going to put the photos down here. The sentiment definitely blends in the pinstripe with the busy pattern paper, so I get the idea of moving the book up. For a couple of reasons, I think this looks great because one, it helps out with the sentiment not blending in with the bottom pattern paper, but also the pages of the book are up high, close to the edge, like the bottom half of the paper, and I really like that. So I was trying to take a shortcut, and I die cut the backing for the word book in just black, because there are some black elements in this pattern paper, and I don't like it. When I turn the word book over, there's some green pattern paper, and overachiever here decides to go ahead and use different pattern paper to back the entire word book. Now I'm happy with all the placement. I'm going to start adhering everything down permanently. I do want to add a linear element to this design, and I'm going to grab the strip information strip to the scrapbooking paper. I know it's a specific name to it. I can't remember. Let me know in the comments what it is, but I end up going with this like piece of torn edge paper, and I don't like it. I'm not happy. I'm happy with, so I have to do a little paper surgery, no big deal. I dive into the laser cut elements from this collection and pull this puppy out. And it is gorgeous. I love the intricate lace and the stitching design on this, which prompts me to add a bit of stitching later on in my design. Because I have all that movement at the bottom, I want to go ahead and put the word book on some foam tape to give it some height. I like to tear off the backing to foam tape, that way I can maneuver it around where I need it. I was going to try to glue this down, but instead I'm going to reach for my spray adhesive, which made it a lot easier. I'm going to tuck it right behind the sentiment book worm and start adhering all of my different pattern papers. Now it's time for embellishing, and I'm going to use the vellum ephemera. Unfortunately, my camera did die on me towards the end of my layout. I ended up making quite a bit of changes. Number one, you'll see I used vellum flowers to decorate the pages of the die cut book. I ended up swapping those out with vellum butterflies. The next thing is I added stitching on the top half border of the page, and I added a little bit of white splatter. You will see all those changes in the completed photos here at the end of this video, which I thank you for popping in. Get this awesome cut file and many others. Go to bramblefox.com. If you found this video helpful or you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet a subscriber, I encourage you to subscribe. Thanks again for watching. Until the next crafty doings.